Hey you guys, I'm about to give a tour of our schoolroom. But first I wanted to talk about, I guess just some insecurities that I had about sharing this. There's a lot of homeschool moms that I follow that have beautiful spaces that they do their homeschooling in. And they're like beautiful farm tables, whitewashed walls, and all those pretty light and pretty spaces. And that is not our school space at all. We have lots of bright colors and fun things all over the place, and there is organization in the chaos, and it works for us and we love it. So it's not going to be a very classy magazine kind of space. It's going to be just a normal mom and kids homeschooling space. But I feel that most of us probably have spaces like this. Now, not every family can dedicate a whole room to their homeschooling. You might just have a table in your kitchen that you guys do your homeschooling at, and that's fine too. We're fortunate to be renting a property that has a tiny little storage, kind of like attic space next to my son's bedroom. And we just asked our landlord if he could put the carpet in. And it's just a perfect little tiny schoolroom space. It works out perfect. There's a window in here and it's perfect. So, but like I said, some families don't have a whole room they can dedicate to homeschooling. Maybe it's just part of an office space, like a desk or 2 desks for your kids. Or maybe they do their own work in their own rooms. Whatever works really well for your family, that's great. Keep that up. I'm only sharing this to maybe inspire you or give you ideas for your space or ways to organize your space if you're having some troubles figuring out ways to organize your space. Okay, so let me take you around my room. So first let's start with the door. On my door is where I hold all of my extra worksheets that I print out, and I just want them in a quick and easy visual spot so I can walk right up to it, grab it, and turn around and go back to the kids' desks. It's organized by subject: language arts, science, math, art, etc. That way I know exactly where to find it, and I don't have to take extra time pulling out a binder, popping open the clips and pulling one out. I can just walk right up. I did pre-hole punch them, so I don't have to worry about that when I do put them in their portfolio later. Now, over here is our quiet reading corner. This is where they do individual self-reading time, or where they pick their stories for bedtime. They also have, right down here you can see, it's reading levels, and I put them in here instead of on the bookshelf because it's easier to thumb through with such a thin spine and see the covers than try and figure out what you're reading and pull out a whole bunch of books off the shelf and make a mess. It just works better for my kids this way. On the other side of the door, we have, this is kind of like our hangout corner. If they finish their work early, or they're waiting for me and they're doing an independent activity, they'll do it normally in this corner. There's extra books over here. They're paperback and thin, so I put them in this kind of visual spot here so that they can see the covers, and that way they're reading all of their books instead of trying to remember what they have. And then the basket in front is full of magazines. So on our shelf over here, we've got puzzles. The bottom shelf is full of interactive books like I Spy, books where you pull flaps and levers. So that way if they're waiting to do something to move on to the next subject and they got done early, they can come and do one of those interactive books over here. The middle basket on the bottom just has a little bit of toys, but that are kind of quiet toys, things that will keep their minds busy and distracted, like the doodle boards or something like that, to where they're not disruptive and disturbing the other kid trying to learn. So, for example, if I'm focusing on one kid with reading and the other child was doing writing practice and they finished, they can come sit over here while they wait for me to give them the next instruction. Then the last bin down there is interactive reading stuff like Leap Reader. We have a pen that you can push onto these books and it will read it along. So it's like read to me kind of things. Or Hot Dots, you can find that on Amazon's. It's an interactive pen that you have cards and you select the right answer, or wrong answer, I guess, and it will tell you if you're right or wrong. That's what those are. You can find those on Amazon. So they love doing those while they're waiting, and the puzzles too. I also have just a couple of supplies. Like their stamps come over here. They're base 10 blocks. I'll grab that stuff, but I put it over here so it's not so, it's kind of big, so I just put it over there so it's not in the way. On top, this is where we keep our math stuff for the good and the beautiful. We keep it in that bin right there. And that's where we get just big pull apart paper too. So that's that corner. This is our chit chat space. This is where we do our Bible lesson. We read our story together where I'm reading aloud to them. Right now we're doing Charlotte's Web. We pray here. We put on our full armor of God here. They love to do that every day. I ask them, what is the helmet of? And they'll say, helmet of salvation, and then they put it on. They love this visual. I got it at Hobby Lobby for a couple of bucks because it was on clearance at the end of a school year. So if you want any big visual poster boards, Hobby Lobby, end of school year, best time to get it. This over here is kind of my storage. The top has things that I want to get to quickly and that we probably use frequently. And I just want to be able to see it and remember that we have it so we do use it. The big basket is our morning basket. It has things that we do every day, like maybe we're doing a Bible workbook, that's in there. Our story that I'm reading aloud to them, Charlotte's Web, that's in there. Fun morning game starters, like quizzes, question things, that's all in there. Then the first two bins are their individual bins, one for each kid. They'll have, for example, right now, my son's reading this book, From the Good and the Beautiful. It's his first time reading it, so he'll put it back in here because they read these 2 times before they move on to the next book. So he knows it goes right back in here, and next time it's time to read it, he knows where to find it. Also, his phonics cards with the good and the beautiful are in here. These are the ones he's studying. They go in his bin. My daughter has the same. And they also have their daily workbooks. We still do daily workbooks with Confessions of a Homeschooler. We really like having a little bit of busy work in the morning. And then their writing books with the good and the beautiful are in here. So they know, I just flip the page so they know these are the pages they're doing next. It goes right in my bin. They know when they do writing, they get their book and put it back when they're done. Now the rest of the bins are organized by subject. These two are English, things that I need to get to frequently, like flashcards for sight words or word family flashcards, things like that. Games. This is our math box, musical multiplication with the good and the beautiful. They're doing the same math right now. Levi's kind of taking a break from his other math, and he just is enjoying doing math with his sister. So that's where they get their math. If they were both working on different maths, it would be in their individual bin. But right now it's here. This is our art bin, our good and the beautiful art and crafts projects ideas, and they're awesome learning how to draw books. So that's easy to get to. I teach them maybe once a week a new kind of object to draw. They love it. Then this is our science bin. There's all sorts of science stuff. We're working on water in our world right now with the good and the beautiful, so that's in there. And then these are kind of other things that we'll do. My son, he loves science, so we have a lot of different science books, and I keep them here so that way we can pull them out one day when we're not going to do our specific curriculum thing and we just want to do something fun. We have water and animals and insects, all that stuff. And then the last one is our Bible workbooks. These are actually mine and my sister's from when we were little. I don't know if you guys did the animated stories from the Bible, but I loved these as a kid. And my mom still had them. So I took them from her, and we are using them to go along with our Bible studies. And the rest at the bottom is just my storage stuff. The third one in here is my husband's German books and everything German for him to do with the kids. This is mine. It's all their workbooks, their portfolios. This is history. We haven't started history yet, but when we do, this will be a perfect spot for me to pull out and just grab the game, any of the books. And the rest is just storage of extra curriculum. That's extra math that we haven't gotten to yet. This one has English for next year and other reading things, other Bible curriculum stuff for next year and beyond. And this cubby here is for manipulatives. So any kind of math manipulative or letter manipulative stuff that they need, it's in there. And then the other two is just extra storage stuff. I don't even know what's in the last two. But I love having the mesh opening in the front so I can see what's in there and I don't forget what I have, like in those last two. I think it's just extra stuff I haven't done yet. So, and then on this wall, it's their desks. They wanted so badly to sit next to each other, so they are. And I love having it by the window because they can just stop and take a break for a second, look out the window if they want. So it's not so claustrophobic and tiny in here. We do have a cute little window that they can enjoy. And another thing about these tables, I'm not like fancy, as you can see. These cost me $15 altogether from yard sales. I wanted them to have something fun while they're little to have as a desk. And yeah, it's not picturesque, but my life doesn't have to be picturesque. I want them to really enjoy their desks and enjoy learning, so I got these cute little desks for them. They are little tykes. They flip open, and the front here, they have their little hidden stuff underneath. They just love their desks, and they really enjoy it. When they get older, yes, we'll have to upgrade their desks, but this was a really nice, cheap alternative. I wouldn't buy them at their full price. They're kind of expensive, so I waited around until I saw them in garage sales when people move and stuff. And that is just our supply stuff. I'm going to make another video about all the kinds of supplies you're going to want at the beginning of your school year, so you don't have to worry about getting it, like if there's a pandemic or anything like that. And then this over here is our last space. This is just our teacher workspace. It's where we work together as a group with our dry erase board. I love having a dry erase board that's up on the wall. They love that too. They love being able to have a turn to write on it. It makes it fun and interactive for them. And it's a nice big visual when we're learning together, all of us together. I definitely recommend always having a nice number chart. Especially like this one. This one's from Kumon. They do a lot of curriculum stuff. A lot of like summer review and things like that. But I like this one because it's not just to 10 or to 20. It goes all the way to 120. So when they're learning to count, they can see visually the numbers. And it's great for when you're teaching them place values, 10s and 1s and 100s. So we really love that. And it's also great for when you're adding because it's kind of set up like a number line. So if they start at 5 and they add 2 more, they can get 7. Things like that. Love it. We also have our sight words at the bottom. If you can tell, I love visuals. Visuals really help them learn. And teachers do it in their classrooms, so I figured, why not? My kids love it. They love coming up and reading all their sight words at the bottom. And my daughter, she's almost at the end. We already had all of them up because my son knows them all. So as she's getting closer to the end, she's excited because she'll be done just like her brother with those sight words. And then we'll move on to more. And then over here, they take turns each day. Someone is doing the weather, someone is doing the days of the week and the calendar. And then we flip-flop on that. Okay, Well, that was our schoolroom tour. My next video is going to be about our end of the year review. Have a great day. God bless.